Hello, this is Philip Brunelle, and I am here in Guildhall at Plymouth Church, where I am the choirmaster organist and also where I am the founder and artistic director of Vocal Essence. Each day I'm talking about a different composer, and today it's Conrad Susa, S-U-S-A, not related to John Philip Sousa. Conrad no longer with us, but he was an amazing man. I met him in the 1970s for the first time. I had performed a piece of his with the choir at the church, but the first time I met him was because when I was at Minnesota Opera, we were thinking of commissioning a piece, and we were looking for a composer who could set a book by Anne Sexton called Transformations. I knew about him, and it just felt to me like he was the right one. We met him, talked to him, and it clicked. It was a perfect thing. And so Transformations was born. We performed it, we premiered it, we did it all over the United States. And it got a chance for me to meet Conrad, talk to him, and then start writing other pieces for us, both Vocal Essence and Plymouth Church. So the piece I'm going to play for you is part of a little anthem that he wrote. He had a wonderful way of just writing beautiful melodies. And this is a piece that he wrote back in the 1960s called Let Us Gather Hand in Hand. Conrad was also a character. When he came to write Transformations, a few nights he stayed at the Brunelle house, which in those days there were 3 small children there. Conrad was not the usual composer. He would invite the kids into his room for a pillow fight. And then he would tell them a story. And I can still remember this because it had many chapters to it. So it was the story about a purple hot dog that lived under the bleachers in a school gymnasium. Well, we're talking about kids who were like 3, 5, and 7. They just every day, Conrad, what's happened with the purple hot dog? And he would make up more about this hot dog. And that was just the whimsical, wonderful nature of him. For many years, he was at the Old Globe Theater in San Diego. And while he was there, he did the incidental music for plays, more than 200 of them. He also did, as I mentioned, operas. He wrote Transformations. He also wrote another one for Minnesota Opera called Black River. And then I called him one day and said, you know, Conrad, Benjamin Britten wrote this piece called Ceremony of Carols for treble voices and harp. It would be great if you would write a piece that would be for mixed voices, SATB, and harp. I didn't hear anything. And Conrad, of course, who was notorious for being late with commissions. And then suddenly he wrote to me, he called me and said, by the way, it's finished. And I went, what's finished? He said, the piece you want. Only he said, it's not just harp. I decided to set Mexican Christmas carols, and so it's for harp, marimba, and guitar. It's an absolute joy of a piece. We've done it a number of times at Vocal Lessons. We've done movements of it at Plymouth Church. It's called Carols and Lullabies. And if you have a chance, find a recording of it, because it's just that kind of piece. We sang it at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church, I remember that, in St. Paul, and a number of old people who were there came up afterward with tears in their eyes and said, these are all those beautiful Mexican carols we heard and sang when we were children. So here is the opening movement of Carols and Lullabies. So you can just imagine this piano part is harp, guitar, and marimba. Have a wonderful day.